My wife, Sophia, stood just outside the glass door of my hospital room, her face contorted in a mask of triumph and rage. Her voice, usually so gentle, was sharp enough to cut through the sterile quiet of the cardiac ward. "Leo, you finally met your match!" she screamed, her words echoing in the hallway. "I'm telling you, all of this is my doing. You deserve every bit of it. Because back then, when you didn't let me leave with Julian and he died, I swore I would make your life more miserable than his death." The world seemed to spin around me. Just hours ago, my company, my life's work, had lost a monumental deal due to a major data leak, pushing it to the brink of bankruptcy. In a desperate attempt to salvage what I could, I had worked myself to the point of collapse, fainting at my desk. When I awoke in this hospital bed, the first person I saw was Sophia, but the woman shouting like a lunatic was a stranger to me. I clutched my chest, a sharp pain radiating through me. "What are you saying?" I managed to ask, my voice barely a whisper. Sophia sneered, a cruel twist to her beautiful features. "I leaked the company's secrets," she confessed without a hint of remorse. "I want you bankrupt and destitute. Oh, and here's another little secret for you." She held up a document, a DNA test. "Your beloved Noah isn't your son." The words hit me harder than any physical blow. The report clearly showed that the boy I had raised and adored was not biologically mine. Sophia's laughter, wild and unhinged, filled the air. "He's from a one-night stand at a bar. Oh, Leo, I've been married to you for 4 years, and now I've finally avenged Julian." Her words sent me spiraling back in time. Sophia and I had grown up together, our families living next door to each other. Our marriage had seemed like the most natural thing in the world. But right before our wedding, she had confessed her love for someone else, a man named Julian, and her desire to run away with him. Her parents, horrified, had locked her in her room. She had called me, begging me to drive her down the mountain to meet him. I had said no. That very night she had snuck out anyway. Julian was waiting for her in a cheap rental car, driving on the treacherous mountain road without headlights. They crashed. Julian was killed instantly. Sophia survived. She had seemed so remorseful after the accident, so broken. I forgave her. We married, had our son, Noah, and for 4 years I believed we were building a happy life together. Only now, in the wreckage of my career and my family, did I understand the truth. Sophia had never forgiven me. She resented me, blaming me for Julian's death simply because I hadn't facilitated her escape. That night she hadn't found remorse. She had found a mission. She had meticulously plotted her revenge for years, living a lie beside me. The weight of her hatred, the sheer scale of her deception was too much to bear. A wave of nausea and pain crashed over me. I coughed, and a spray of blood splattered onto the white hospital sheets before the world went black. When I opened my eyes again, the sterile scent of the hospital was gone. I was in my old bedroom, the familiar patterns on the ceiling illuminated by the faint moonlight filtering through the window. A wave of confusion washed over me. Then I heard voices from downstairs. It was Sophia, her tone sharp and defiant. "Leo, I don't like you. I won't marry you. I want a passionate, romantic love. Julian takes me on bike rides to watch the stars and the moon. You're just boring, always talking about business." Her father's angry voice boomed in response. "Lock her up. She's marrying him whether she wants to or not. If she dares to be with that man, we'll disown her," Sophia retorted, full of youthful idealism. "Why do you look down on Julian? Haven't you ever heard, 'Don't underestimate a poor young man'?" I knew Julian. He was a middle school dropout who made quick cash through illegal street racing, squandering it just as fast. Yet, in Sophia's eyes, he was some kind of misunderstood, talented prince. In my past life, I had pretended to comfort her father while she glared at me, hissing, "Don't play the good guy, forget it. Even if I'm locked up, I won't marry you. I'd rather eat breadcrumbs with Julian." I remembered her heart-rending, dramatic romance with a bitter taste in my mouth. This time, however, I wouldn't stand in her way. I would push her right into the arms of the man she thought she loved. Later that night, I found her just as I knew I would, sneaking out of the house and hopping into a waiting, dilapidated pickup truck. I approached the vehicle, and she panicked, her eyes wide with fear, thinking I was there to ruin her grand escape. She couldn't have been more wrong. I wasn't there to stop her. In fact, I was going to support her. I held up my car keys. "Want to borrow my car?" I asked, my voice calm. "It'll be much faster." Sophia stared at me, completely stunned. I offered her a gentle smile. "Silly girl, you're like a sister to me. I just want you to be happy. Go, find your happiness with Julian." She took the keys, her face breaking into a radiant beam. "Thanks, Leo. You've always cared for me." I glanced at Julian in the driver's seat, clad in a worn leather jacket with garishly dyed hair. He was the epitome of a nonconformist, exactly her type. I shook my head internally. I pulled a bank card from my wallet. "You didn't take anything with you. Here, it's not much, but it'll get you started. Julian will surely treat you well." Julian's eyes gleamed as he took the card. This money would give them a runway, just enough time to strain her father's patience to the breaking point and ensure the ties were well and truly cut. I watched them drive off in my sleek sedan, a stark contrast to the junker they had planned to use. As their taillights disappeared down the road, I yawned and called a tow truck to have the abandoned pickup hauled away. As expected, all hell broke loose by early the next morning. My mother told me Sophia had run off during the night, leaving a note saying she was off to find her happiness. Her parents were beside themselves with fury. To make matters worse, Sophia had posted on social media. It was a picture of her and Julian by the beach, wrapped in each other's arms, with the caption, "Nothing is more important than true love. I know I'll be happy." I made sure to like her post. My phone was immediately flooded with messages from friends, all asking what had happened. I told them the simple, dramatic truth. Sophia and her lover eloped for the sake of love. They were all shocked, remarking that it was like a drama you wouldn't dare script, a wealthy young lady running off with a rebellious boy on a bike. The parents of both our families sat down in a tense meeting to discuss what to do about the engagement party, which was now only 3 hours away. In the middle of the frantic discussion, Sophia's younger sister, Chloe, suddenly spoke up. "Leo, would you marry me?" she asked, her voice quiet but firm. "If you're willing, let's get engaged today." I had always known Chloe as the quiet girl who would tag along when I came over to hang out with Sophia. She would follow us around, calling me brother and asking to join in on our activities. When she went to college, she even chose the same major as me. Being a few years younger, I had always treated her like a little sister. Now, all eyes in the room were on me. If I agreed, we could avoid a massive scandal and save face for both families. I looked at Chloe. Her cheeks were flushed, but she met my gaze bravely, despite her obvious nerves. A pang of sympathy, mixed with something else I couldn't quite name, stirred in me. Seeing the hopeful eyes of our parents, my heart softened. "Sure," I said. "Let's get engaged today." Thankfully, the invitations had simply announced a family engagement celebration, so the sudden switch in fiancés wasn't too difficult to explain to the wider circle of guests. Our business acquaintances weren't close enough to know who my girlfriend was, so no one suspected a thing. When Chloe came down the stairs in her dress, I was genuinely taken aback. The gown had been tailored for her sister's figure, but Chloe was more slender, and on her, it took on an unexpectedly graceful beauty. The engagement party went off without a hitch. When it was time to exchange rings, I was surprised when my mom handed me our family heirloom, a stunning blue sapphire ring, instead of the custom one I had ordered for Sophia. She whispered in my ear, "Honestly, I'm quite happy with Chloe. What happened might be her family's fault, but Chloe is innocent. Don't make her suffer." I smiled, and as I slipped the ring onto Chloe's finger, it fit perfectly. Maybe it really was fate. I looked at Chloe, and she smiled back at me, a genuine, radiant smile that reached her eyes. After Sophia's elopement, her father was deeply disappointed and decided to have Chloe begin training at the family company, grooming her to eventually take over. Meanwhile, Sophia and Julian, having run off to the coastal city of Cydia, messaged me to say they had rented a cozy little place. Julian, she said, was determined to find a good job and make a name for himself. I replied with encouragement, telling them not to worry about the family, and that as long as they were happy, that's all that mattered. Chloe threw herself into her new role at her family's company, showing incredible dedication. Aside from her university classes, she spent every spare moment learning the business. She often came home in the evenings with files, asking me questions about corporate strategy and finance. Over time, we gradually started to feel less like a makeshift couple and more like a real one, growing closer and more in sync with each other every day. 3 months later, however, my phone rang unexpectedly. It was Sophia. "Leo," she demanded, her voice sharp. "Did you get engaged to my sister? Didn't you always say I was the one you loved?" I couldn't help but laugh at the sheer audacity. "Sophia, are you serious? You ran off with another man and you expect me to just wait here for you until you get bored or dumped and decide you want to come back?" Thinking for a moment, Sophia softened her tone. "I didn't mean it like that. Do you think my leaving is what brought you two together? I saw my sister's post. She looks happy. That little girl always had a crush on you, you know? Now she's living her dream." I was shocked. Chloe had a crush on me? Before I could even process the thought, Sophia continued, her voice changing again. "She won't even send me some money, and now she's hanging up on me. Leo, could you wire me 100,000? Feigning concern, I asked, "What about the card I gave you? Is it all gone already? That money should have lasted you a long time. And what about the car?" Sophia explained that they couldn't find suitable work in Cydia, so they had burned through the cash. Later, Julian tried to start a small business, selling my car and investing everything they had, but he was scammed out of it all. Now, she lamented, they couldn't even make rent for the next month. I pretended to be in a difficult position. "Your dad doesn't want me or Chloe involved in your matters at all." Her voice rose in frustration. "Leo, don't think I don't get what you're up to. You just want to see me humiliated, begging to come back, huh? You think I'd crawl back just because Julian's broke? Dream on. He's way better than you'll ever be. I'll endure poverty, but I will never return to you." With that, she slammed the phone down. When her father found out about the call, he nearly had a heart attack from the anger. He declared, "If she dares to run off with that guy, it's the end of our father-daughter relationship. Don't you give her a single cent if she calls." Though he was furious, I knew that since Sophia was still his daughter, his disappointment would require much more than this to become final. For over a month, there was silence. Then I saw a photo she posted on social media, a positive pregnancy test strip. In my past life, out of sheer spite, she had spent a night with another man and had a baby boy just to humiliate me. I could never erase the memory of the pure hatred in her eyes. This time around, she was finally pregnant with the child of her dream guy. I was morbidly curious to see how long this supposed happiness would last. A love affair so strongly opposed by her family, a pregnancy without their consent. It seemed Julian had found a shortcut to wealth after all. Her latest post was a picture of a bowl of street food with the caption, "In this world filled with daily life, as long as I have the one I love by my side, it's more than enough." I almost laughed out loud. Sophia, who was spoiled from a young age, was actually eating street food. This was the same woman who used to complain about dishes at five-star hotels, saying the wagyu wasn't fresh or the plating wasn't pretty enough. Yet now, a simple bowl of street-style spicy hot pot gave her the feeling that life was beautiful. Chloe saw her sister's social media posts and was speechless. Is she out of her mind? That Julian guy doesn't look like a good person at all. She spent hundreds of thousands on him in half a year, and still believes he's just waiting for the right chance to succeed. I just chuckled. Who knows? Maybe this is what they call being love-struck. But even being love-struck can't hold up against the harsh reality of everyday life. When Sophia was 5 months pregnant, she came back home. When I arrived at her parents' place, there she was, belly protruding, sitting on the couch as if she owned the place. "Dad," she announced, "I'm your daughter too. I deserve half of the family's assets. Just give me my share, and if you don't want to recognize me as your daughter anymore, that's fine." Her dad's face turned a dark shade of crimson. "Nonsense," Sophia shot back. "I left to pursue true love. How can you be such close-minded parents insisting your daughter marry someone she doesn't love? Just give me my share of the money, and I won't bother you again." Chloe tried to calm their father down. "Sis, have you really thought this through? Is Julian worth cutting all ties with our family?" Sophia sneered. "Isn't my leaving exactly what you wanted? Now you can be with Leo and have all the family assets to yourself. Are you happy now? Anyway, I'm taking my share today." Chloe's face flushed with anger, and she stopped trying to reason with her. Their father sighed, a deep, weary sound. "If you leave Julian and come back home, I'll forgive you. But if you insist on this path, you must understand that you will no longer be my daughter, and this company will have nothing to do with you." Sophia lifted her chin defiantly. "If you want me back, you have to give Julian a manager job at the company. He's so capable, he'll surely manage it well. If you don't agree, I'll leave with him, and you can consider me as not your daughter." Her father nodded slowly. "Fine. Fine." He took out a bank card. "There is $1 million on this. Take it. After this, you are not my daughter. Sign this agreement to give up all your inheritance rights." Sophia didn't hesitate. She quickly took the pen, signed the agreement, pressed her fingerprint onto it, grabbed the bank card, and left without a single look back. "Don't come looking for me, even when I succeed," she called over her shoulder. She was completely oblivious, having no idea what she had just given up. But it suited me perfectly. She would not get another chance. Outside, Julian waited for her, decked out in his signature leather jacket and pants, leaning against a motorcycle and smoking a cigarette. "Did you get the money?" he asked the moment he saw her. Sophia waved the card triumphantly. "How much?" he pressed. $1 million, she said. Julian was thrilled. "Hop on," he gestured. Sophia struggled to climb onto the back of the motorcycle with her pregnant belly. I watched them from the second-floor balcony, wondering just how long that $1 million would last them. It turned out to be 2 months. 2 months later, Sophia, now 7 months pregnant, was back again. This time Julian was with her. They stormed into her father's company, pulling him right out of a shareholder meeting. Standing boldly with her belly thrust forward, Sophia declared, "I want to sell my shares. $5 million. Dad, if you don't buy them, I'll sell them to someone else. I'm giving you first dibs because you're my dad." Chloe stared at her sister in disbelief. "Are you serious? You're threatening your own father with your shares? Using them as a bargaining chip?" Her father didn't argue. He simply shook his head, called for a lawyer, signed the contract, wrote the check, and then summoned security. "From today," he announced coldly, "Sophia is no longer a shareholder in this company. She is not allowed on this floor again." He then turned and walked back into the shareholders' meeting to announce the transaction. With that single act, Sophia lost the last shred of affection her father had held for her. After that, Calvin and Sophia moved into Calvin's parents' home. With the $5 million, they bought a house, and Calvin's parents boasted to the entire neighborhood that their son had managed to snag a rich heiress. Calvin's mother often bragged to their neighbors, claiming her son had real skills, finding a wealthy daughter-in-law who fetched money from home whenever it was needed. This time, she'd snagged millions, and they had a new house to show for it. Calvin became a local legend in their poor alley. People greeted him everywhere he went, and over time, his vanity reached new heights. Just as he had with the first $1 million, He squandered the money instead of living wisely. The $5 million from the shares fell into his hands, and after buying the house, he spent lavishly on friends who constantly egged him on to pursue bigger and bigger ventures. He fell into their traps, squandering another couple of million, and worst of all, ending up $2 million in debt. Calvin began pressuring Sophia to get more money from her family. Sobbing, Sophia suggested they sell the new house to cover the losses. Calvin's mom flew into a rage. "That's my son's house. You can't sell it. Aren't you a rich girl? Just go home and get more money." She had no idea that Sophia had been completely cut off. Calvin, on the other hand, knew perfectly well, but kept quiet, instead coaxing Sophia. "Honey, families don't hold grudges. Your dad must have just been speaking out of anger. Let me take you home. We'll bring a nice bottle of wine and smooth things over with my father-in-law." Sophia, desperate, thought it made sense. She just needed a good reason to go home. As it happened, her father's 60th birthday was approaching, and he was hosting a small dinner for close friends and family to celebrate. Our family prepared gifts and planned to attend. I went with Chloe, and for her dad, I had managed to acquire a calligraphy painting by his favorite master at an auction. Chloe was impressed, joking that her dad might want to cuddle with it at night. Just as the party was about to start, Sophia arrived with Julian. Her dad's face fell the moment he saw them. Sophia ignored his expression and walked right up, singing sweetly, "Dad, Julian and I are here to wish you a happy birthday." Her dad didn't respond, turning away from her. A guest nearby, unaware of the drama, asked why they hadn't held a wedding reception, noting Sophia's obvious pregnancy. The atmosphere grew thick with awkwardness. I quickly stepped in, handing over my gift to ease the tension. "Uncle, this is a birthday gift from Chloe and me, wishing you prosperity and longevity." Her father forced a smile. "Thank you. That's very kind of you." He opened the gift, and the room filled with murmurs of amazement. One guest exclaimed with envy, "Your future son-in-law really went all out. This is a precious gift. So it was Leo who won the auction for that master's calligraphy last time?" The compliments made her dad look proud, and he clapped me on the shoulder. "You've raised him well," he said to my parents. "Good kid. Uncle will have a few drinks with you tonight." Before he could finish, Sophia interrupted. "Dad, Julian brought you a nice bottle of wine." Julian, who had been ignored and was looking glum, brightened up and eagerly offered the bottle. "That's right, Dad. It's for you." Her father waved him off. "Don't call me Dad. I can't accept that. Take it back." Sophia started crying. "Dad, how can there be grudges between family? I'm just marrying someone I love. You had to cut ties over that? Everyone should see if you're being too harsh." Her dad's face darkened. "Once you took the money and sold the shares, you were no longer my daughter. You didn't consider your parents then, so don't talk about family now." Sophia's mom tried to calm him down. "All right, dear, don't get upset." She looked at Sophia with deep disappointment. "It's your dad's birthday. Do you want to upset him to death?" Sophia wiped her tears, her voice hardening. "I don't care. I need $2 million now. If you don't give it to me, I'm not leaving." I was shocked. She was mimicking the rude, demanding ways of Julian's mother perfectly. Chloe stood up. "Sis, if you're here to celebrate, there's a seat over there. This table is full. Ruining Dad's birthday won't help you." Reluctantly, Sophia shut up and moved with Julian to another table. Julian muttered angrily, "Why can't you sit there? Aren't you his daughter?" Sophia replied loudly, "Because he thinks I married someone poor, unlike his younger son-in-law who pampers him with expensive gifts." The words struck her father like a physical blow. He went pale, swayed on his feet, and then fell backward, his head hitting the hard floor with a sickening thud. A pool of blood began to form under his head. "Dad, call 911. The birthday party descended into chaos, all because of Sophia. At the hospital, Sophia stood outside the emergency room, pregnant and dry-eyed. Her mom looked at her with utter contempt. "Go away. I don't want to see you." Mom, I'm still your daughter, Sophia pleaded. How can you be so cruel, just over money? Just then, a nurse came out. The patient needs an immediate blood transfusion, but we're low on type A. Is anyone here type A? Chloe quickly stepped forward. I'm his daughter. Let me get tested. But her mom stopped her. Chloe, you have a cold. You're not suitable for this. She turned to Sophia. You're type A. Can you donate? Julian nudged Sophia's sleeve discreetly. A flicker of realization crossed her face. Mom, I'll donate, she said. But first, I want $2 million. No one could believe what she had just said. Her mother looked as if she was on the brink of fainting. The nurse added, Immediate family can't donate anyway. I finished my call. Auntie, I'm type A. I'll do it, I said. And I called my dad. He's type A, too, and he's on his way. Sophia quickly tried to backtrack. I didn't mean that. I'll donate now. But it was too late. Her mother slapped her hard across the face. I have never regretted having you as much as I do at this moment. You drove your father to this, and now you demand money to save him? She slapped her again. That's for us raising you. Now leave, immediately. Or else. Sophia wanted to cry, but Chloe glared at her with cold fury. Sophia, since we were children, our parents gave you everything. You ran away for some guy, you ruined Dad, and now you're bargaining over his very life? Get out, now! Seeing the situation was lost, Julian quickly led her away. After her father was stable, no matter how much Sophia pleaded, her parents refused to see her ever again. She had broken their hearts completely. Later, the guests who had attended the party heard what happened at the hospital, and the story spread, branding Sophia as a heartless ingrate. Everyone now knew her father had officially and emotionally cut all ties with her. She was no longer family. Julian was furious about not getting the money. Under mounting pressure from debt collectors, he hid at home, drinking heavily and taking his anger out on Sophia. One night, drunk, he even hit her. Sophia had never been hit in her life. The slap left her stunned. She ran to the rooftop of their apartment building, crying and threatening to jump. A pregnant woman about to jump became instant social media news. Reporters rushed to the scene to capture the breaking story. Sophia sat on the edge of the rooftop, her pregnant belly heaving with sobs. Her hair was a mess, and she wore old, ill-fitting clothes that belonged to Julian's larger mother. Watching the live feed on TV, I was shocked. Was that really Sophia? The police brought Julian up to the rooftop to talk her down. Still drunk, he just slurred, "Not my problem. If she wants to die, let her." Sophia cried out to the police, "I want to report him. He steals money, gets drunk, and beats me. Arrest him!" Julian's mom, who was also at the scene, threw a fit. "Nonsense! My son hit you. Who are you to accuse him?" Hearing the mention of an arrest, Julian sobered up slightly. "Yeah, who are you? Do I know you?" Sophia was aghast. "Julian, I'm about to have your child, and you say you don't know me?" He scoffed. "Having a kid with me? Are we married? Do we have a certificate? Don't accuse me unjustly. I didn't hit you." The police urged Julian not to provoke her further. Only then did Sophia realize they had never actually registered their marriage. Legally, she was an unmarried woman with a child. Julian could claim not to know her, and she had no proof to show they were a couple. She broke down completely, crying to the news cameras. "Film this! I want to expose everyone's dirt. This man tricked me into marriage and children because he was in debt. And when I couldn't bring home money, he beat me. He's a freeloader living off women. His name is Julian, remember him? And my dad, Mr. Vance, the chairman of his company. He only ever cared for my sister, never me. Because I refused an arranged marriage, they kicked me out and are leaving everything to her, all for seeking true love. What did I do wrong? Is money everything in this world? Everyone says I'm the bad person, but I'm the victim. It's so unfair." She stood up, threatening to jump. Just mentioning her father's name and his company shot the news story to the top of the trending topics, causing a widespread impact. My future in-laws were watching the news as well. Hearing what Sophia said, her mother cried, Our daughter is so ungrateful. How could she mix up right and wrong like that, even slandering her own parents? Her father calmly made a phone call, and soon reporters arrived at their home. He nodded at them. I apologize for my daughter's actions and for taking up public resources. I would like to clarify a few things through your channel. The reporters were eager. He pulled out a weathered brown envelope, emptying its contents for the camera. It was proof that Chloe had been adopted from an orphanage over 20 years ago. Sophia, he said, looking directly into the camera, we gave you the best upbringing and had such high hopes for you, but we failed to teach you basic decency. Your sister, Chloe, is not our biological child. When she learned this, she cried, regretting that she couldn't donate organs to us if we ever needed them. Silly girl. She never wanted to compete with you for anything. I initially planned to leave everything to you, but she refused to accept any inheritance. She believes that taking care of us in our old age is her duty as a daughter, but she will not accept our assets. So, your mother and I have decided that our entire estate will go to charity after we're gone. Not everyone is like you, Sophia. You have deeply, deeply disappointed us. Luckily, we have a good, obedient daughter in Chloe. His interview caused a massive stir. People finally realized Chloe was adopted, which explained why her parents knew their blood types didn't match. Watching the interview on a reporter's phone from the rooftop, Sophia fell apart. How did this happen? She whispered, her face pale with shock. This was all supposed to be mine. Who did this to me? As she lost focus, the police managed to pull her to safety. The stress, however, sent her into premature labor, and she was rushed to the hospital to give birth. When Julian learned that Sophia was actually the sole biological heir, he got sneaky again. After she gave birth and was discharged, he was full of sweet talk and apologies, claiming he had just drunk too much and promising never to hurt her again. Heartbreakingly, Sophia believed him, feeling elated that he still loved her. They agreed to get their marriage certificate as soon as she finished her postpartum recovery period. Julian thought he was being clever, playing the long game. Sophia thought he genuinely loved her, but they would never get the chance to live out that fantasy. By the time Sophia returned to her parents' house with the baby, they had already left on a month-long luxury cruise, avoiding them completely. They waited outside the house all day, but no one ever showed up. I had already moved Chloe into my downtown apartment, and we were ignoring them as well. They tried to see Chloe at the company, but security, under her father's direct orders, denied Sophia entry. They left, disappointed and desperate for the household registration book they needed for the marriage. Julian decided to sneak into the house to get it, and was promptly caught, leading to a police report. When Chloe and I arrived at the station, Sophia was there with the baby crying. "It's my house. I just lost my keys. My husband was just helping me get in. It's a misunderstanding." Chloe was fuming. "Breaking into a house isn't a misunderstanding. Everyone knows Dad severed ties with you. It's no longer your home." Sophia, enraged, threw her child into a police officer's arms and rushed at Chloe. "You orphan, trying to take over my family. Let's see if I don't tear your mouth apart." I stepped in front of Chloe, pushing Sophia away and gazing coldly at the crazed woman before me. "Sophia, I'm warning you. You lay a single finger on her, and you're going to regret it." A female officer glanced at Sophia, muttering, "Isn't that the woman who tried to jump off the roof a while back?" Sophia snapped, "I don't care. Give me the household registration book. I need it to register my marriage." I said, "I'll give it to you, but only if you move your registration out of the family book immediately." Sophia scoffed. "Don't worry. Once I'm married, I'll move it to Julian's place." We quickly handed her the registration book. After getting her marriage certificate, she gleefully transferred her household registration out of her family's records. By the time Julian realized what she had done, permanently severing her legal ties to her family and any potential claim to an inheritance, it was too late. He raged, pushing Sophia against the wall and cursing her for being a fool, barking about how moving her registration out changed everything. The next time we saw Sophia was several months later. Chloe had graduated from college, and we had set our wedding date. We were out shopping for furniture for our new home when we unexpectedly ran into Sophia on the street. She was pregnant again, sporting another large belly. Across from her stood Julian, his arm wrapped casually around another woman. Sophia swung her purse at him, screaming, "I'm pregnant with your child, and you're cheating on me! I gave up my family for you, and this is how you repay me?" Julian shoved her aside without a second thought. "You dumped your family, not me. Had I known your parents weren't going to support you, I would have never married you in the first place. You can't do anything but live off me, and you dare lecture me? Look at yourself. What man would fancy you? Get back home and do some chores." With that, he turned and left, still clinging to the other woman. Sophia was left on the sidewalk, crying hysterically. I couldn't help but smile a little. This was exactly the kind of passionate, fairy tale romance she had always dreamed of. Lucky for me, I had steered clear and found my real love. Later, Chloe, worried about the revelation of her adoption, nervously asked me, "Leo, I'm not their biological daughter. If my background is a problem for your family, we can call off the wedding." I playfully pinched her nose, grinning. Wasn't there a little girl who had a crush on a boy named Leo since forever? Now that you have our family heirloom on your finger, you're trying to back out? Dream on. You're responsible for me now. Chloe hugged me tightly, laughing through her relief. "But I won't have any money. You'll have to take care of me, Leo." I pulled her close, chuckling as I kissed her forehead. "Call me honey, and I'll take care of you for the rest of your life, Chloe." "Honey!"